Hi, this is Danielle Plank, and I am presenting an e-learning I developed for Sentier Bank about skill builders. To provide a little context around this course, its purpose was to train Sentier Bank's retail management how to facilitate these skill builder meetings at their respective branch locations. And retail managers would ultimately use these meetings to improve their team's performance and to help their branches meet or exceed their goals. So now I'll walk you through some of the parts of this presentation. So I kind of kicked it off by providing a list of things that learners should do before starting this course, a list of about 5 or so that feed in gradually through the slide. Then a list of learning objectives as well as a list of benefits so that learners understand why they take the course. And then we get to the home page. This is a really important slide because throughout the course, you keep coming back to this slide each time you complete a module. And you can see here that modules 2, 3, and 4, I'm not able to click here because they're disabled since you have to complete previous modules before you can move on to subsequent ones. So I have to kick it off here with the Servant Sales Overview module. And as is the case with each one of my modules, I begin with an introduction slide that provides a little bit of background about what the learner is about to uncover in that module. In this module, I begin by defining what servant sales is. And then you can see that there's some interactive components here. So the next button is actually disabled. I'm not able to click here because the learner is forced to click on these buttons. And once they are switched to the clicked state, then you are able to go to the next slide. Same with this outcomes, activities, and behavior slide. You're unable to click next, the learners are forced to interact, and then they can progress. A conclusion slide, again, that's a common theme across the modules as well. And then the learner has to click complete the module, and you can see that the module shows up as completed, and they unlock that next content. So I will continue to scroll through some of these slides, but I want to begin talking about some of my favorite and least favorite parts of this presentation and just this practicum experience in general in creating this e-learning. So as far as my favorites go, something that I really enjoyed was making this e-learning so interactive. I liked that I was able to disable this next button so that learners couldn't just click next to get to the end of the content. They were forced to interact and uncover this important information to, hopefully improve their learning experience and their performance on this end of course assessment that comes at the end here. And doing this also gave me a lot of great experience with triggers, variables, conditions. There's a lot of different nuances with those features. And by employing this interactivity throughout the presentation, I got to learn about all the different things that go into even simply disabling the next button. There's just a lot of different things involving the animation and when things filter in and when things are able to be clicked and not opening them up until previous ones are completed. So it was just a great learning experience because I've never dove this deep into articulate storyline with my previous projects. They were just simply much more simplistic. As far as my least favorite part goes, a big challenge for me was the scripting and the recording of the audio. Something I've often struggled with is making my script and my narration sound natural and conversational rather than robotic and scripted. So you can see here on the left-hand side, unfortunately I can't share the audio because I'm talking, so I don't want that to go over what I'm presenting here to you all. But here on the left-hand side is what is in the audio that's played along with the presentation under this notes section. And it's challenging to read that without sounding like you're reading off a script. You want it to seem like you got a facilitator in front of you who's comfortable presenting this content. It doesn't feel as good when somebody's up there reading off a sheet of paper, right? So it's difficult to get that across when you're reading off a script. So I did learn some strategies from my peers, my instructor, my project supervisor about kind of making my script more bullet point rather than word for word what I'm going to say. And that I do think that helped. My script isn't exactly where I'd want it to be. I still think there's a lot of room for growth, and I think it's always challenging to listen to yourself speak. But I do think that it's come a long way from where it was at the beginning.